Good morning. I've had one more swig of coffee. How are you? Welcome to Peace Out, where we're all learning together to peace out, right? It's a great morning to trust God. And I know that just like me, you go to all kinds of situations where you are sometimes feel forced to have to trust Him. But He's just waiting for us to trust Him. That's the cool thing about God. He never says, no, you already had 10 requests this morning. You can't. No, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. That's a joke between Renella and Chris. They had this big argument one time. Renella said, Chris said, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. And Renella was like, what? He said, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. She's like, what? He's like, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. And she had him saying it we were driving. I finally had to say, stop. So God never says, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the day. He never says you brought too many requests, you're one over your limit. You've withdrawn too many funds now. Never. I love that about God, that He never gets tired of us, and He never says, don't come back till you got that figured out, or don't come back till that is fixed, or don't come back until. He just says, please come talk to me. That's all He wants. That's awesome. And that's why we can peace out, because we know He's there, which is what kind of indirectly we're going to talk about this morning. Here's a scripture I found this morning as I was reading and studying this morning. Psalm 33:18 says this, behold, the eye, singular, it's interesting, right? That's just how I think, the eye. Why didn't it say eyes? It said the eye. Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear Him. Now that right there is enough to hold on to, because when we fear God, we hate evil. When we fear God, we just want to do what's right. When we fear God, we reverence Him as the King of our life, right? So behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear Him, on those who hope in His mercy. Now, as I was thinking about that, I thought, no, that's not hoping His mercy is there. It's not going through your day going, boy, I hope God's got me covered. I hope God sees this. I hope God's mercies were new again this morning. I hope God gave me peace and I get to still keep it. I hope. It's not hoping it's there. It's anchoring that hope from the soul to His mercy. It's trusting His mercy is there and using it as an anchor for the soul. Using it as an anchor, right? So we're not hoping that His mercy's there. We're not. Sometimes we kind of misuse hope, because our hope is in God. Our trust is in God. We aren't without hope because we have God. But it's what our soul is anchored to. It's not that we're hoping it's there. I hope God's going to cover me with this. I hope God gives me wisdom for this. I hope. No, those things, God is very clear. The Word is very clear. God gives wisdom. All we have to do is ask. And then out of His mouth come knowledge and understanding, Proverbs 2:6. But He gives wisdom. He has already given peace. He has already forgiven us. He has already cleansed us. These are things we just have to anchor that hope in as we go through our lives, as we go through our days, weeks, months, whatever we're going through, right? As we work through the situations that life throws at us, tries to dump on us, or presents before us as just as part of life. It's just a natural part of life. But we do that with our hope in Him, anchored to His mercy. So as I was thinking about that, it made me think of the scripture. I'm pretty sure I used it maybe yesterday, and I looked it up to make sure I wasn't misquoting it, because I don't like that. So in Hebrews 4, it says that verse 16 says, let us come boldly to the throne of grace. I always think it's the throne of grace, it's the throne of mercy. I don't know, we get grace and mercy there, that's all that matters. Right, but it's the throne of grace, much grace. Let us come boldly to the throne of grace. And I know I said this the other day, but this is not a quiet place, although it's hallowed and it's holy, right? Even though we would want to show reverence in the presence of the King, it's not a quiet place. There are angels singing, there are beings coming in and out all the time. There's activity, there's smoke, there's thunders and lightnings in the best kind of way. There's lots of things going there, and yet God says, come boldly. Come on in, just walk right on in, right up here, and tell me what you need. And it's like, I don't know, there's a lot going on up here, right? But you know what His attention isn't on that. You know what His attention is on? It's on you. Because right there in the middle of the praise, in the middle of intense worship, in the middle of thunder and lightnings and shakings and bright lights and anything else you can imagine, fog machines, anything else you can imagine, right? God's going to give us grace to help. So he says, come boldly before the throne of grace. Just walk right in. I'm waiting for you. Come boldly to the throne of grace that we can get mercy, or obtain mercy, get mercy, and find grace to help in a time of need. So think about that. Here God is on his throne. There's so much going on in the heavenly realm all the time that we don't even get. That might not have even made it into this book. And the people, when they did describe it, words lacked true expression of the powerful place of the throne of grace, right? And yet, he's like, his focus is on us. God's focus isn't on all the things going on, right? He's like, come on, let me give you some grace to help in your time of need. He recognizes we have a time of need from his throne. He doesn't say, I'm too big to come down and see about you. I'm like this big being and you're a little ant to a human. And we can't really communicate. That's what the agnostic thinks, by the way. You know, we can't really communicate, but I can see you. No, he's going, come on into the throne of grace. Come in, come up to, come boldly. Not even, you better be quiet. You better be reverent. You better come crawling on your knees. You better become begging. No, he says, come boldly. That's an attitude. That's a posture of the heart. So come in boldly, but not proudly. Come in boldly going, okay, God, you said to come when I needed some help. And you know what? I need some help. Isn't it amazing that in that most holy environment, God is focused on our need. And he's ready to meet it right there. He's not so lost in the beings that are worshiping him, although he's very aware, right? He's like, come boldly into this atmosphere of the throne. Come boldly into the most holy place, and I'm going to give you the grace you need to get through this time. So our hope is anchored in his mercies. Our hope is anchored in his grace. Our hope is anchored in him. Everything he said here is not anchored in our struggles. It's not, you know what you anchor your heart to is going to determine the altitude and attitude of your heart, right? If you anchor it to your sorrows and your struggles or the chaos in your life, they're going to suck you under really quick. If we got to anchor to our hope, it's always going to lift our eyes to the hills, to the God who's going to help us from the throne of grace. Our hope is anchored, our heart is anchored to his mercy, and that's where we find grace to help every time we need it, because that's his focus. He didn't even have to send Jesus. He could have just said, man, I'm going to make these people and they're going to mess up, and I'm just going to sit back and watch the show. He is focused on us. That is the most humbling thing I've said this morning, right? For me, that just went inside. God is focused on us, and he doesn't have to be, but he can't help himself. He's focused on us. He's like, come on, let me help you navigate this thing you call life while you walk through time. I got the whole picture. It's really very small. It's so small. It's got to be so small, you know, when he can see eternity from end to end. There's no end, right? And the time that's in between is situated inside of eternity. He can see all of time at one time. He can see the beginning. He already knows the ending, and he knew we were going to mess it up, and he already fixed it. He didn't have to be focused on us. So that's why we can come boldly and go, God, I know you're watching me. He's watching over his creation. He's not just hoping things turn out okay. Hope they don't make a bad turn here. Hope they don't wipe themselves out doing something dumb. It's possible. But he's watching over us. So we can come boldly before the throne of grace, where we will get mercy. We have mercies. Our hope is anchored in that mercy of God. And that's where we'll find that grace to help us in the time of need. And that just blows my mind that he even knows we have a need. He did that on purpose. He wouldn't have to. He's God. He could have said, yeah, those needs are really small compared to what's going on in eternity, right? I mean, did you know the angels fought each other and 2/3 of them were still with me, and there was a big war in the heavenlies, and 1/3 of them I threw them out? That's bigger stuff than what's going on. And yet he purposefully focuses on what we need today. And that's why we can anchor our hope in Him. And that's why we can peace out. Peace out. He's got you covered. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow.